Pair of breaking news stories we want to get to as the Supreme Court has rescued Texas Republicans as they have ruled that the Lone Star State will be allowed to use that new congressional map. This a post from Stephen Dial talking about that. The Supreme Court allowing the 2025 Texas GOP redistricting map to proceed. The filing deadline for the midterms is Monday. The Supreme Court will have a hearing on the merits of this case at some point. So that coming in from Stephen Dial as the justices acted in an emergency request from Texas for quick action because the qualifying in the new districts already begun. Primary elections start in March. The Supreme Court's order puts the 2-1 ruling blocking the map on hold at least until after the High Court issues a final decision in the case. Justice Samuel Alito had previously temporarily blocked the order while the full court considered the Texas appeal. The justices have blocked past lower court rulings in congressional redistricting cases, most recently in Alabama and Louisiana. That came several months before elections. The Texas congressional map enacted last summer at Trump's urging was engineered to give Republicans 5 additional House seats. The effort to preserve a slim Republican majority in the House in next year's elections touched off a nationwide redistricting battle. Texas was the first state to meet Trump's demands in what has become an expanding national battle. Republicans drew the state's new map to give 5 additional GOP seats. Missouri, North Carolina followed with new maps, additional Republican seats each. To counter the moves, California voters approved a ballot initiative to get Democrats an additional 5 seats there. So the Trump administration is also suing to block the new California maps, but it called for the Supreme Court to keep the redrawn Texas districts in place. So following that closely, here on Live Now.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Well, boy, what's going on, family? Hope everybody that's tuned in right now that you are blessed, well, and healthy. That December is treating you guys well, that y'all are staying warm, safe, wishing you all safe travels, and happy holidays. That we all in 2025 off on a great note. You know, what a month, what a year it's been in 2025. You know, just 11 months into President Trump's second term, you know, been a lot of big wins, a lot of things we agree with, some things we disagree with. You know, some things we think this or that on. You know, a lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of this and that. But hey, you know, the world of politics is a dirty game, man. You know, but one thing we can say, it's gotten worse and worse and worse for the Democrat Party. These Democrats, these politicians down there in Washington, you know, the gaslighting, the fear mongering, the misinformation, disinformation, you know, and it all being Trump. And it's all Trump's fault. Then we have the fact checkers and the debunkers come out, you know. What a time, y'all. What a time. But we also have the Supreme Court. Another 6-3. We got some big breaking news we want to get into, man. And again, it's not going to be a too long one on the show. But I know everybody is talking about this right now as it just broke. You know, broke news. The Supreme Court on this ruling of the Texas map, you know. Here it is right here. Massive victory. Supreme Court upholds Texas 2026 congressional redistricting map in a 6-3 ruling. Huge win. This means 5 plus red seats. Plus 5 red seats. Doesn't sound pretty too good for Miss Crockett and even another man. This might ring a bell. Al Green. But many people lately have called out Miss Jasmine Crockett. I mean everybody, even, you know, Texans, you know, we know she loves the race card. I'm a black woman, you know, victimhood, you know, excuses, and the president is an orange orangutan. I know y'all laugh and stuff, but you know, these are the things that this woman has said live on television. She has embarrassed herself, humiliated herself, you know, loud, ghetto, you know. Down there in Congress, it is literally a circus, a show. I think a lot of people ought to be investigated, audited, walked out in handcuffs, thrown against the wall, thrown against the floor. They ought to do a sweep down there, in my opinion. Y'all know how I feel about what's going on down there, you know. The sabotaging and backstabbing when it comes to President Trump, you know, and his presidency. I mean, it's just a disgrace, man. You know. But Trump has broke the Democrat Party, you know. And congressmen like Miss Crockett. But this says it breaking. It's official. Jasmine Crockett is being booted out of her current district now. The Texas congressional map is upheld by the Supreme Court. And everybody's posting all kind of things like bye-bye Felicia. You know, oh boy. Official. The U.S. Supreme Court has upheld Texas congressional map, effectively redistricting Jasmine Crockett out of her current district, Texas 30, and forcing her to run in a new one if she wants to remain in Congress. Bye-bye Felicia. You know. But if you just type in Jasmine Crockett, you know, this all comes up. I know this has been trending for the last couple of hours, and she's been trending almost every single day as the new Democrat star, humiliating herself on a lot of things, humiliating herself recently, you know, screaming to the top of her lungs, you know, not even doing her research, or just, you know, when it comes to this Epstein saga, and which we've seen has backfired on Democrats, you know, Democrats and Epstein. How has that played out? And look what we found with that, you know. I told y'all, let everything play out. Let them scream to the top of their lungs. Let them scream Trump bad, Trump this, the president is a pedo, he's this, he's that. Let them come out and say all this stuff. But the truth will prevail. The truth will set many free, actually. But Jasmine Crockett says he doesn't get enough money. Oh boy, $174,000 a year in Congress. The average Texan makes $52,000 per year. But people say some other things about Jasmine Crockett, and they've put out some other conspiracy theories, and they've put out, you know, why this one right here was going viral as her little stunt. We've seen posts like that. We've talked about those in Congress, those portfolios, and, you know, people worth now millions of dollars on a certain salary, you know. And as they spit on and taxpayer and we the people come last, they care so much for the illegals, and, you know, they have no common sense. They care so much for the criminals, you know. Yeah, we know who Democrat heroes are. And it's not we the people or the American people or the American taxpayer. We come last. We are spit on. We are ripped off, you know. Yeah. And I honestly think the taxpayer should honestly be hotter than fish grease. You should be hotter than fish grease.
We don't get enough money. I mean, I'm being honest, and I know that some people may take issue with that because they talk about how much money we make, and I get it. It's not that we're obviously getting minimum wage, but by the time you talk about having I have a mortgage, and I have an interest rate that is like 3%. Mm-hmm. Interest rates are not that low anymore, right? That's number one. Number two, so it's a matter of, oh, do you sell your home, then go somewhere else and get a higher interest rate? Like, there's all these variables, and as a single woman who has one income, who's not allowed to make outside income, there's a lot we.
Oh boy. Wesley Hunt says the people like Jasmine Crockett and him don't see the country the same way. The contrast couldn't be more clear. She argues America is defined by victimhood and systematic racism. I'm the great-great-grandson of a slave, born into a family that went from a plantation to West Point combat in the United States Congress. The story of American progress. The debate between Wesley Hunt and Jasmine Crockett is a must-see TV, and I welcome it. Imagine that though. Wesley Hunt and Jasmine Crockett live on television having a debate. That honestly, man, I would get my popcorn.
People like Jasmine Crockett and I, we just don't see this country and we just don't see the world the same way. And again, I'm somebody that has fought in combat for this country. I'm somebody that believes in America First agenda because I believe in just that, putting America first. And the contrast that you will see on a debate stage with somebody who is constantly clamoring about being the victim and how black folks can't have this because of systemic racism and this and that. The contrast of somebody like that and the contrast of someone like me, who is the great-great-grandson of a slave. My great-great-grandfather was born on a plantation, and I have the honor of representing a white majority district that President Trump would have won by 20 points. And I just won by 27 points because I'm literally being judged not by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. And to talk about the progress of this great nation and how I get to sit before you every single day and not be concerned about the color of my skin. I am more concerned about being a husband and a father and a veteran and a West Point graduate and an educated man and someone that has served this great nation. And yes, I always tell people I'm black and I am very proud, but I'm an American and I am prouder. And I can assure you that the contrast with a debate like that between Wesley Hunt and Jasmine Crockett is going to be must-see TV, and I welcome it.
Oh boy. What do y'all think of
People
that?
like Jasmine Crockett and I, we just...
says Jasmine Crockett is going to lose her congressional seat. Thank goodness for the Supreme Court. Again, you see people are posting this all over. The Supreme Court ruled today Texas redistricting doesn't boot Crockett out of her seat. Federal law requires only Texas residency, not district residence. Yeah, it sucks. Hopefully she will run for a Senate seat and lose. Oh boy. Jasmine Crockett announces she is running for Senate in Texas.
$1 million race. Data is only one part of the equation. You have to be able to execute. And the state is 30 million people. It's a $100 million race, as well as, you know, we need to be able to take advantage of the fact that the Republicans are fighting right now and they may have to go to a runoff. And we also need to make sure we have what I consider to be a strong slate. People that can also raise money, people that also have kind of different groups of people that are attracted to them. And so it's more so logistical than anything at this point in time. But for sure, we did not stop our evaluation because the evaluation made it clear that the coalition that won on November 4th, black and brown folk, when you look at the numbers in New Jersey, when you look at the numbers in
black
Virginia,
and brown folk,
it was making sure that black and brown, number one, showed up and voted the right way. I am the leading candidate when it comes to those two specific constituencies. And so it does make it to where I am very formidable, regardless of kind of what people may want to put out into the atmosphere. The numbers are the numbers.
So you still haven't made a decision?
I am closer to yes than I am no. I will tell you that. But regardless of what people think, strategy matters. And execution matters. And there are a lot of people that don't believe in Texas. And so for me, if I am going to tell people that they need to believe in Texas, I need to not only have numbers on a piece of paper, I need to be able to tell them this is exactly how we're going to get there. And part of that equation, for me, again, comes down to what type of ticket, instead of relying on one person to kind of carry the load, what type of ticket. So I've actually been talking to other candidates, potential candidates as well, trying to recruit them.
Oh boy, what do y'all think of Miss Jasmine Crockett? Leave a beautiful comment down below. What is this? Accountability checker. Lean notice says Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett has failed and refused to pay over $3,000 in condo fees, while campaign filing showed nearly $75,000 was spent on luxury hotels and travel. You know, they always in the headlines for stuff like this. You know, it always comes out. Oh boy. But you just can't make it up, man. Yeah, we're gonna end it off with that right there. That Alex Jones and Jasmine Crockett AI holding a turkey. Happy post-Thanksgiving, y'all. Hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. And we have a great Merry Christmas. We can say Merry Christmas, can we? I love y'all. God bless you all, your family. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace and love, you guys.